we are here. Oh, bam. We are here. Hold on. Let's settle the camera up. Do we need to be center focused? I know some people would prefer us to not be center focused. Let me get a little. We're here with the wound expert. I don't know. Software for wound management. Well, if we're going to talk like that, then we definitely need to talk about the wound management that we actually played a big part in, not just myself, but everyone in the sprint car community that I reached out to yesterday. I want to give a big shout out to you people out there who have been doing it right. And what I mean by that is this right here. Loose Video did eclipse the 1,000 subscriber mark when we went live here yesterday. It was at, I believe, 965. I asked people to go over there and subscribe. We also posted to Facebook, all types of things. But Loose Video did officially reach 1,000, actually 1.04. So that's good in itself. So almost 100 subscribers. I believe 1.06 would be 1,060. So 1,040 right now for Loose Video. If that continues to go up, that'll be great. But obviously, Will was really excited, really, getting losing 55,000 sucks, like he did on Facebook, but getting a little bit of enthusiasm built up now that he can monetize his content on YouTube. But still, it kind of sucks. It still kind of sucks to lose 55,000. I've been in pretty much a very similar situation. Now, speaking of similar situations, we're jumping right into this today. We got a lot of things to do. We may not be here as long as we were yesterday. Yesterday, we were here for about an hour and 55 minutes. I don't think we have time for that today. But we did get some shorts out. The shorts, the reels, the tiki-talkers. We got them out yesterday, and there was some people with some opinions. I know this is the weirdest screen I've ever done in my life where I'm looking at myself. Are we doppelganging right now? Regardless, here on Facebook and on TikTok, this was the predominantly large videos. I believe this one on TikTok pulled 40,000 yesterday or 20 or something like that. 400 likes on this, but then, of course, the comment section. We're going to talk about the psychology of comment sections here very, very soon. Well, this is talking about the sprint car star being replaced by the NASCAR career drivers not wanting to become Steve Kinzers and Sammy Swindell's. The icon of sprint car racing switched to a co-trickle, Jeff Gordon, and now, obviously, that's the root. A commenter in there, yeah, actually, it says right here, he said, I agree with a lot of what you say, but I call BS. Most of these kids never seen Days of Thunder and don't know who co-trickle is. I said, right, they don't. They saw the result of it. Cole made it cool. Jeff Gordon did it, and everyone else or everyone has followed the trend since. It's the root. So that's kind of what we're talking about. But regardless, a lot of the comments in here are referencing the money. It's all about the money. They're going to NASCAR for money right here. The guy says millions. It's millions there. It's millions there. It's millions here. It's millions here. It's there. It's everywhere. And I came to this with a very simple response. To those who still want to talk about, we had this discussion in previous episodes, and there's no real way to combat it. For those who are still saying it's about the money, as to why y'all are trying to go to NASCAR stardom. This is a comment that I said in a very funny way. By the way, all these shows are registered as comedies, so if you get offended, it's a joke. So just take it with a bit of salt. As someone said, I believe Kyle said, yeah, it's just satire. I get it. It's hilarious. So yeah, calm down. But regardless, for those who are still saying that these drivers are going to NASCAR to make millions, let's just get down to the brass tacks of this situation. It says, you psychotic people and your delusional beliefs. Who is making all these millions in NASCAR? Question mark. Curious question mark. You have Larson, who said this yesterday or last year. We had a big discussion around back and forth with Kenny Wallace. Of course, all y'all go subscribe to Kenny Wallace. I think we even did a show with Jeremy Elliott, Sprint Car Unlimited on here on YouTube as well. Y'all go subscribe to their outlets. Even though me and Kenny Wallace or me and Jeremy Elliott or even the Dirt Tracker dude may have different opinions, there's still all opinions that need to be put out there into the dome of the society, this bubble of racing, that hopefully we can pop that bubble and spread into new communities. Regardless, last year, Kyle, we had this big discussion. Kyle even came in there and said, I said, as I'm continuing here, you have Larson himself saying how the top dirt drivers make more than a third of the NASCAR Cup field, guys. Cup field. Not trucks, not Xfinity, but Cup. So most of your dirt racers at a top level, and in the video I say Kinzer, Swindell, Bloomquist, are modern guys who are these top level guys in the dirt racing world, are making more money than all the truck drivers, Xfinity drivers, and a third of the Cup Series drivers. And this is based on what Kyle Larson's, this is based on what a bunch of people in and out of the business, this is what they're saying. I said there is plenty of money to be made in the World of Outlaws Sprint Car Series, Late Model Series, Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series, and Kyle and Brad's new series, High Limit Racing. Meaning you can come over here and perform well and become a star. Now this is, and make money. If y'all want to keep saying NASCAR drivers make millions, show me. Because I hear about how all these older NASCAR drivers are being pushed out of rides, not particularly because they're getting old and can't drive anymore, but because little Timmy or little kiddies over here, their whole entire dream is to be a NASCAR superstar, and they don't want to get paid millions a year like the older veterans with established names do. They just want to make something. I just want to be a star. I just want to accomplish my dream, so I'll take a huge pay cut in comparison to this NASCAR veteran with an established name that built the series to begin with. So that's what I'm saying here. There's people out there, y'all think they're making millions. Just think the Kevin Harvick, Tony Stewart, Matt Kenseth days, okay? We're in today's society. They ain't making what they used to make. And according to Larson himself, a third of the NASCAR field, the Cup Series, ain't even making more than your top dirt track racers. So as far as you people saying it's all about the millions, I got a big ass and you can kiss it. Okay? Plenty of room, especially with a bunch of these psychotic people and your delusional beliefs, sir. So anyway, and now let's talk about this. You know, it's very interesting, the communal manipulation that this career path of a NASCAR driver has partaken. You know, it makes me think about basketball. You have, you know, a lot of TikToks and short reels of people going around and saying how, oh, well, you know, all these people in this community are trying to become an NBA star, and the success rate of becoming an NBA star from this level or this part of the country or this part of the country is so out of reach when you dedicate your entire life just to be a little NASCAR NBA player and it doesn't work out. You're kind of screwed. You don't have any other talents or abilities. Now, the bigger difference between somebody trying to pursue the NBA and failing versus somebody trying to pursue NASCAR and failing, and this is why I say it's rich kids. I hope y'all people do understand that to run a ARCA race, some of the figures, I believe, to run, this is tryouts, okay? We'll say ARCA is a tryout level. It's like $80,000 a race, $60,000. I think a truck's like $120 a race, $3.5 million a year, according to some lawsuits that have went awry. That's what I've seen. I don't know how true this is. I mean, that's what I believe I've seen. How about that? So, in your pursuit of an NBA career, what do you have to do? Well, you have to be good. You have to be one of the best. You don't have to do that in NASCAR. You just sign checks. And then you go to colleges, you go to high schools, you get an education in some kind of way. You have something to fall back on in a plan B scenario. Or if it doesn't work out, you get to go somewhere. You have some kind of, I think it is right here. Only 3.4% of high school basketball players going to play in the collegiate level, just 1.2% get drafted by an NBA team. So you have to have something to lean back on. Now, the funny part about this scenario here is that for them to try out, they just show up and ball out and maybe get recognized and advance if they have to, but they have to ball out. This is back to Rigsby when he's referencing a scout and all this with talent. Now, on the other flip side of it, to pursue a NASCAR career, it seems like you have to be, and this is why I call them rich kids, 16 years of age with multiple millions to rent out cars to try out to be a NASCAR driver. Now, I don't know. Maybe there's a lot of them. 16-year-old kids out there that have worked their ass off since they were 5 years old somehow, and they have earned the money to be able to rent a truck for a race at $120,000 or something, or 60 or 80 for one race. I think, I'm guessing maybe that it is someone else paying that bill. And based on what I've seen, it's a lot of relatables of people who are trying to drive, a family member that's paying that bill. So my point in saying this and pointing that part out is to pursue an NBA career so low percentage to amount yourself. Your investment to do that is just performance and dedication. Whereas your investments to pursue this NASCAR dream is multiple millions of dollars. So back to what I was trying to point out to these people over here, these delusionals. You're telling me they're making millions in NASCAR, which apparently, according to quotations from one of the biggest stars that we know of, Kyle Larson, we're going to get to him in a second. According to Kyle Larson, dirt racers are top dirt racers are making more than a third of the cut field. We're assuming the third of the cut field's making more than the entire Xfinity, the entire truck, this level system they have. And to even start making that much more, to become a part of the 2/3 of the cut field, you have to be 16 with all this money, with all this support, with all this ability to even think of touching that. Where, and this is why I say dirt racing's where the hitters are, you could go out there, work your ass off, earn the money to get a car, go out there, and if you got the talent in the dirt world, you could become a top-level dirt racer with a tenth of the investment into your career. So it makes business sense. See, this is why the dream, it's more so, this racing thing's more so like music and movies. And some of these people are like talent agencies, and they sell you on, oh, well, we got this guy to the top, so you could join it. I've always joked and said, Larson and Bell sold so many Keith Coons midget 300,000 a year renter rides because it's the dream. It's the first step. Look, we got a success story. Pay the bill. You'll be him too if you're good enough. Although racers, I brought up the NBA, diversity, we'll say. I feel like that the dirt world's about to potentially see a very diverse, successful midget driver become a victim of the inadequacies of funding that I just laid out for you. Because it don't matter how good you are. It don't matter how good you are. But Buddy Kofoid, I had a discussion with somebody about Buddy Kofoid because I referenced him yesterday on saying how we need to support a Buddy Kofoid who has come back to our sport. And he said, yeah, well, apparently the MO on Buddy Kofoid was he went over there and he didn't adapt to the asphalt instantly. Of course, he was about to win an ARCA race almost and got into a wreck where a car was just stopped on the track. Of course, he only had like 3 races in his whole entire asphalt career. And then I said, well, hold on. I talked to some people in the Kofoid camp, and there was other drivers with the same organization that ran deeper in the field, but they're still racing. Isn't that because they can afford to continue to write the checks? There's rumors that when you go to these national go-kart events in America for 5 and 6, 7, 8-year-old kids, quarter midgets and stuff, that there are NASCAR representatives there that do, and it will not representatives, but teams, we'll say teams, groups, entities. And one of the first things they do is look at a financial background check or see where the finances are for these parents of the little kids. Because the goal isn't there to talent scout the talent, it's to talent scout the pot of gold that they are trying to dig into. So this whole, first of all, this whole system is fucked. It needs a lot of work. I don't know if a guy talking about it and trying to get advocacy behind the situation to change. And I'm not even trying to get it to change. I'm just saying, hey, all you son of a bitches that don't understand how great these dirt track racers are, if you want to say, oh, NASCAR drivers are richer or better or all this stuff, like I heard, it's all the comments. Okay, well, here's some relative easy facts to kind of show where your guys are from at what they do, and then show where our guys are at from what they do. And then you tell me, and like I said with the deal yesterday, I think dirt fans don't like NASCAR because we witnessed this shit happen. We watch these grassroots levels and see how all this happens, how the winners stay and the losers with the big bank go. You know, so this is some stuff that maybe the world society don't know, but I do think if they did know, they would respect, recognize, and admire what Bobby Pierce's Kofoids, all these other guys are doing. I really don't think that there's people in this society looking at the sport and seeing, you know, a guy racing a sprint car down the street as a Tom Brady level talent. I think they're looking at that guy down the street as an arena football level talent. The World Outlaw driver down there is, you know, a Kurt Warner or something at his highest potential. You know, it's just a B grade AAA baseball sub-talented player of racing because they don't grow up in racing. They don't know how it operates. They don't get what I just explained to you. They don't understand the money. They don't understand how the winners are left behind and the rich losers advance. And this is why the field up there is so soft. And then, like I said, we got into some discussions about the car itself. You know, I said in the show, I think a 900 horsepower sprint car is a little bit more harder to drive than a, you know, NASCAR next gen road course vehicle with big tires and all this stuff. And funny enough, we have a great example from the man Kyle Larson, of course, ran second at Dover in the NASCAR race. And he is speaking out currently. And let me say this for the record when it comes to Kyle Larson. I saw some dumb commenter come on here yesterday when I gave Kyle props for, you know, being in a subpar race car or in the 42 car. And then once he got into a good car, he started whooping their ass, not because Kyle Larson sucked, because he's better than everyone in the field. And the guy was like, how can you say Kyle Larson's so much better than all the damn NASCAR drivers? You hate on him when he's in dirt, blah, 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 blah. No. First of all, I've always said Kyle Larson's one of the greatest race car drivers in America. But I also stand behind everything I just said, laid out, and explained to you people. So what does that mean? When I talk about the system and how they actually obtain drivers to the roster, I'm over here saying Kyle Larson can be challenged by these winners down here in the dirt world on the racetrack, which he has. He's been running average this year, not because he's just off. I think it's because the dogs have caught up and they're eating up that rabbit. When Larson had a successful 1 year, I tried to tell y'all it's way harder to be a Kinzer and stay out front of the pack year after year after year after year because they're always getting better. Our boys are just getting better. Our winners over here are winning. They're whooping some Larson ass on the dirt. But I believe everything I just said because I've seen it happen. I got eyewitness accounts, conversations, people I care about, don't care about. I know how this system works. So when I sit here and say Kyle Larson's one of the best drivers in NASCAR, he's of course supposed to whoop their ass. That's against the fucking mid-packers with the big bank. Their roster. The NASCAR roster, in my opinion, is soft. Just saying. I don't think, like I said in my show yesterday, I don't think that Denny Hamlin or Kyle Busch or any of these long-time asphalt guys could jump in a 900 horsepower race car and handle it. Some people respond and say, well, Chaz, that may be true, but our guys in dirt racing can't go over there to the, you know, NASCAR vehicles and do just as good as they can. You can't tell me that. You don't know. I was like, well, I got the eye test. I see the sprint car drivers go in a corner, and I see their arms working. The car's all over the place. I hear the throttle work. I hear slamming up on a cushion. I see the fast excitement, and then and on boards with loose video, we see the guys fucking ripping a tear off, fucking all over the place. And then I see the inboard of a cup car going around the track. And I see a guy in there, you know, barely moving his little wheel, you know, reading his touch screen, listening to his mommy up there on the damn, you know, tower, telling where everybody's at. And his sister's down there on top of the crew chief box. Do we need you to come in here and get you some new tires and all that? You know, so I see all these crutches involved in driving these cars. The car is locked down. It's too aero dependent. They want 1,000 horsepower to make them drive again, but they don't want these cars to be hard to drive, guys. These 5th and 6th, 7th place guys with big banks can't really drive, so they want those guys to have success when they get to the cup level. I think that's why I think these cars are so simple and easy to drive, this next gen car, and they don't have 1,000 horsepower, and it is this way or that way. It's because those richer people who are average mid-packers who make up the majority of the NASCAR roster, in my opinion, they can't really drive a fucking race car, okay? So when these, not the old guys, I think Kyle Busch and Denny Hamlin and all these real men racers, the last generation of great NASCAR drivers, they can handle that. But this new crop that's just buying their way up there, you know, I don't think they can handle that ability of driving a race car. So I think that's why it's set up to the way it is. But back to the comparison, I really don't know. I personally do see a sprint car driver or a late model driver driving that race car personally, visually. The eye test says that kind of looks way, way harder than this guy sitting over here drinking his drink and talking to other people on the line. But Kyle Larson has came out and basically explained to you people how easy driving these cars are. This is a subject topic after Dover where they're discussing aero-blocking. And the title of this video on Noah Lewis's YouTube, go subscribe to Noah Lewis. He is describing how there are rear view in-car camera, so a literal dash camera with a rear or a mirror up there with a rear view camera. Like when you get in your car today and you back up and the camera pops up and you can see everywhere around you. It's beyond the sippy cups. It's beyond the mama up in there telling them with the spotter where everybody is. They have in-car cameras. Now, this is, and honestly, this is another crutch. Take it all out of the driver's hands so that everything else makes the difference on the racetrack. But anyway, listen to this segment right here. Listen to how easy he makes this sound. Listen to this.
In the car, you know, it's easy to air block. Honestly, like if they took the cameras out of the car, that's probably one of the little things I think that could fix it. You know, because it's hard to see out of the rear view mirrors, but the cameras are so easy. So, I mean, I would be for if they, took the cameras out, because it's, like I said, it's so easy. Like when I was leading, when Bowman was.
Listen to what he's about to say about how much you have to, like I said, in the sprint car, up on the wheel, pulling tear-offs, hyperactive, you got to be on it every single second, or you could be seriously injured. That's how dangerous and extreme and hard those cars are to drive. Listen, though, behind the wheel. I already said how they're, like, talking to buddies. They're already, doing all this. Listen to behind the wheel, what it takes to win. He's about to bring up a race at Vegas. Listen to how much he's paying attention at Vegas behind the wheel of these cars. Listen.
He's behind me. I'm literally just staring at my camera, and, like, when he turns right, I'm turning right. When he pulls down, I'm pulling down. When you have the mirror, you can't really see that well, so it's harder to do that, but... yeah, just it's a tool, and we're all using it really well.
Is it easier to do here than other tracks? Or is it how fast?
Listen to this.
No, it's just as easy. Like, I mean, that's how I won Vegas. I was just, shutting Reddick's air off and watching my camera. It's just really easy to do.
So they are out there in modern day NASCAR, driving in their rear view mirrors. They're not even watching what's in front of them. You heard them. I'm just looking at my camera when I'm driving and just moving where he's moving, and Yeah, so the cars are so. I mean, obviously, Kyle Larson's really talented, so this is a whole nother subject. But the cars are so. And once again, I'm just comparing to the guy pulling tear-offs, ripping the car around the track. In Kyle Larson's explanation there, he's literally just watching a rearview mirror mid corner, going into the corner, which is I would consider, one of the harder elements of asphalt racing. I do think asphalt racing does take a certain amount of talent. I think the older NASCAR vehicles took an extreme amount of talent. The Bullet cars, I believe it was the Gen 4 NASCAR vehicle. I think that Gen 4 NASCAR vehicle, I call them the Bullet cars, were possibly some of the hardest race cars in the world to drive. That's why I have a lot of respect for Kevin Harvick, Kyle Busch, Denny Hamlin, and some of these others, and even Larson, just because he drives sprint cars, so it's harder than that, or just as equal. But I'm just saying, those asphalt guys who are used to those Bullet cars back in the early 2000s prior to the COT, those guys can really drive. Those cars were extremely hard to get around. And entering the corners, one of the most difficult, supposed to be one of the most difficult parts of driving a NASCAR Cup Series vehicle. So when I have Kyle Larson telling me that he is looking to see which lane or where the guy behind him is going and is switching up based on where that driver determines which lane he's going to enter, and he's just switching up while looking at a rearview mirror while going forward, back to, the whole, the windshield is so much bigger and the rearview mirror is so much smaller. Well, I don't know about this situation because apparently it's a damn camera. So these cars that we're comparing now, this is somewhat of a vehicle comparison to difficulty of cars to drive. I'm just saying, when I test a sprint car going around the track and I see those guys working in there and you see some of the in-car video pointed at the driver, you see the eyes of the driver, they're widened, it's like he's hyper-focused. I mean, it's such an intense experience, a 900 horsepower sprint car running 140, 150, slinging it in there with guys just throwing sliders in front of you or hitting fences, you're flipping out, you could flip out. I mean, when I see all that, and then I see this, the difficult, back to who could drive what, and I hear that they are just watching a rear view in-car camera going around the track. If I'm just a regular person in society, I halfway lose respect for the entire racing vehicle and series of NASCAR. When I'm hearing myself, people already think racing's dumb. We've already seen the Talladega Nights where they make fun. I just want to go fast. They make fun of racing. They think it's an easy, simplistic sport. And then when you are on the biggest stage, and I'm not saying Kyle Larson did anything wrong here. Hopefully we can push sprint cars through this ideology. But when you're telling the world, yeah, I'm just sitting in the car looking at a rearview camera, does that sound like you're doing something skillfully? Does that sound hard to do if you don't even have to look where you're going to do it? I'm just saying, guys. But Kyle Larson telling it like it is. He's the one that said 1,000 horsepower, get rid of these cameras, all this stuff. Kyle Larson's a true race car driver in the NASCAR Cup Series. He's a true race car driver, period. It's an elite talent, one of the best drivers in America, potentially one of the best drivers in American history. So, I'm simply just saying, guys. I'm simply just saying. We could wrap it up in multiple ways here on this topic. The people saying, why do you hate Larson here and like Larson there? It's simple. I think he's better than most NASCAR drivers outside of Christopher Bell. I think beating that field is a gimme for drivers on their level. It's the race cars. It's the Aero-Blocking. It's the in-car cameras. It's the low horsepower. It's everything but the drivers making the difference in that scenario. And I think Kyle Larson's one of the best. But when you throw a Larson or a Bell, I don't think any car owner would put Denny Hamlin or Kyle Busch in their car. They know what's about to happen. They ain't trying to destroy shit. If you want to put those guys in the dirt field, we're talking about a whole nother world, guys. We're talking about a whole nother scenario. Because that's when you're going up against the winners. And when Kyle Larson's over here against the winners, hey, and the world comes in and tells me how he's so much better than everybody else, hey, kiss my ass. Just because he's whooping those boys over there in NASCAR That's the B league of the motorsports world. Hell, that's the C league. I'd put them behind the Cars Tour. Cars Tour is harder to win in, I think, than the NASCAR Cup Series. I mean, I'm just saying. That's what I think. And then look at this. Look at this. In-car cameras. What are y'all doing? Destroying racing? I just don't get it. I just don't get it. Anyways, should we respond? What's the comment section looking like here? Oh, we should just give a little taste to the comment section here on YouTube. Oh, my God. What are y'all about to say? What are y'all about to say? Hell yeah, on the Cars Tour. I think if Larson wanted to be great, he would learn what a torsion bar is. That's funny. That is a fact on NASCAR. Could not be run any worse. It is almost like a bunch of drug-addicted second, third generation country club kids are in control. I didn't say that. Are any more NASCAR is just annoying. They don't know who they are. They're all tools. Billy Dietrich said that. Oh, my God. Billy Dietrich is in the building, ladies and gentlemen. Looky here. We have Billy Dietrich in the building. Go subscribe to his YouTube channel. He must be editing video right now, probably. What's up, Big D, Big Daddy? Of course, Billy Dietrich likes the Chaz a little bit. Every time, obviously, the apples and the seeds fall far across from one another when it comes to Danny. I wish Danny would love me. I talked to Billy about this. I don't want to cry on camera. But anyway, he says, Chaz, did you even watch the race Sunday? Every time I seen you the phone was in your face. I filmed the A main from the infield, by the way. It did not go great for Callum or you. But yes, I did film the A main. I paid attention to it all the way. All right, now back to maybe we'll have Billy Dietrich call in. Billy, you have Nasty N8 rebuilding the hot rod for next week's race. We'll see what happens. I think the rain's going to get a lot of races this weekend, and that is somewhat the subject for today's show. God has chosen, guys. God has chosen. Now, when I say this, I'm somewhat joking, but I am not. I was really torn, and I've been torn. I think a lot of people are torn on, and I know that people keep saying there's room for 2 national sprint car series, and we've talked about the benefits of High Limit and the World of Outlaws racing. I think there's a lot more shows in the Midwest that pay a lot more. Obviously, High Limit and the World of Outlaws turned the month of May. Billy Dietrich, you should be happy about this. They turned the month of May into the month of money. I mean, you're going to have the World of Outlaws over here in the PA, New York, Ohio region. Obviously, you're having the World of Outlaws come to Eldora this weekend, if it races. Little rain chance. Then you have them coming to the PA swing. Outlaws then leave. A High Limit then comes in, does a 3-day New York swing. Then the following weekend, they do the Weikert, guys. And that's a $75,000 to win event now, the Weikert at the end of the month at Port Royal, with High Limit being involved. So, hey, isn't that a benefit? But when it comes to 2 sides and all this stuff, I feel like I should be picking some kind of side here. And unfortunately, they say, Chaz, you're real, Donnie and everybody, you just keep calling a damn spade a spade. And unfortunately, with this High Limit and World of Outlaw thing, I now have 2 decks of cards to call a spade from. So I got double the spades. I could never run out of things to not talk about, because there's 2 decks to call spades from now in the sprint car racing industry. I'm leaving the late models alone. They got so many issues. They're about to start coloring tires or something like that. They're just trying to be F1, or they're just listening to Dirt Tracker on anything he suggests. But at the end of the day, I was kind of torn. Which one is the right one? What's the right choice here? Who's the good guy of this scenario of World of Outlaws and High Limit? I see the love and passion from Brad Sweet and how much he wants to make a difference. But then I also see the loyalty foundation of the World of Outlaws in the years upon years that it's been and stood by its love known as sprint car racing, and they've built it to where it is. And man, that's a good choice too. But then there's both egos on both sides. One wants to change the world. One wants to make it bigger. One wants about more fans. One wants subscriptions. I don't know. But this Wednesday, May 1st fucking date came along, and I thought it was the dumbest let's have 2 national series decision ever. decisions ever when High Limit Racing and the World of Outlaws were scheduled for May 1st on a fucking Wednesday. I know people have heard me talk about this. Why are y'all scheduling against each other on a Wednesday? We get it. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, y'all may go up against one another. But why on a midweek day? Couldn't somebody pick the Tuesday? Couldn't they have picked the Tuesday? I was just saying, I was very frustrated, and I halfway prayed out to God. Just remember, when you pray, there's two people listening. Just remember that. I said, you have to make a choice here. You got to show me the way. And obviously, and this has been a question I've had for months. Who's the good guy? And what happened on this May 1st date, guys? God has picked a side. Maybe it could be the devil God or the God. I don't know. There's two people listening, but rained out. I don't know if there was a rain dance that the seance at the World of Outlaws did for this event. I don't know. There could be some black magic involved here. I don't know. Who knows? But the rain gods, how about that? We'll go Greek. The rain gods have picked the World of Outlaws because on this up one another date, they chose to rain out the 81 Speedway event with the High Limit Racing Series on Wednesday, May 1st. And that means we're about to find out who a real outlaw is. Of course, the High Limit Racers can run as many World of Outlaw or other events as they want to. Of course, if you look at the High Limit Racing schedule, that makes perfect sense on the weeks that they are off. For instance, they were off this last weekend because there was a Knoxville Outlaw date. Everybody wants to run Knoxville. Obviously, they're going to be off weekend for you to go have fun. Oh, wait, coming up here soon in June for the Huset's High Banks World of Outlaw event for $250K. Then they're going to be off for the weekend. The King's Royal. Then they're going to be off for the weeks of, Knoxville Nationals, 360 and 410 Nationals, Ironman 55. Oh, and then they're also going to be off the same weekend as the National Open at Williams Grove. So I'm kind of being sarcastic here in my tone is because it's like I hear all these people saying, well, High Limit drivers have went to World Outlaw events and kicked some ass. Where's the Outlaw drivers racing High Limit? Well, the Outlaws don't have a schedule with gaps open to go to premier High Limit events. High Limit Racing, however, has dates off so that you can go run these must-attend, high-paying sprint car races that, guess what, are still currently sanctioned or series sanctioned by the World of Outlaw Sprint Car Series. And with that being said, this is canceled. And if Jacksonville posts here in a minute how they canceled, I'm going to be very mad. But the rain gods have chose, and the rain gods have chose Brandon Sheppard. Can I say it like Brandon Sheppard? I can't say it like the James Essex guy. B-Shep, Brandon Sheppard. How do they say it? Brandon Sheppard. I don't know how they do it. It's really good. The late model announcers, I wish the sprint car community would just embrace the more color commentary, going at it, have fun kind of talk interaction. But Brandon Sheppard and the World of Outlaw Sprint Car Series takes center stage here tonight. Now, the rain gods have said, y'all are good to go. Valvoline, everybody involved. Hy-V, I believe Hy-V, it's the Hy-V 40 event. Everybody's saying green light on this. Everyone now will be paying attention to the 4-time World of Outlaw Late Model Series champion making his World of Outlaw I'm not going to say that word, drink sprint car debut tonight at Jacksonville Speedway, okay? So this guy's really good, grown up in the area. He knows this racetrack very, very well. And he's teamed up with Jake Newman, who puts together and has really good racing equipment. They've done some practice laps. Brandon Sheppard does have sprint car laps, not many. Obviously, had so much success in the late model ranks. But we're going to watch it live tonight on Dirt Vision. I know, Dirt Vision, so bad. I had somebody say, oh, yeah, it priced out, back to the NASCAR deal. Dirt Vision's $350 a year, I believe, or $399, one of the two. Very expensive, right? I had somebody tell me with this NASCAR subject on dirt fans not liking it, it's because of the price and how much it costs and how much it travels. And I'm like, guy, the dirt fans ain't even watching it on TV for free. They're paying $400 to watch the sprint cars. Kiss my ass. Anyway, we'll continue. Also, to go with Brandon Sheppard, this is going to be, and we should be doing our dirt draft kind of pick, sleeper pick. I do not know how this is going to work out, but this is Logan CV Racing. He is going to be, I forgot what's the guy's name. I'm sorry. Landon Simon. Yes, Landon Simon. This is the guy that, the car owner, Landon Simon. If y'all remember when Sammy Swindell was like, come here, you little pisser, at the Chili Bowl a couple years ago, you little pisser or whatever, he's all mad. He was mad at Landon Simon. So that's who owns this race car, that Logan CV, who in my opinion is one of those Kyle Larsons, Kofoids, Corey Days, came up dominating, doing amazing things, just didn't have the money to pay his way into the big old Cup Series. But this is a talent. This is a superstar driving this race car. I don't know. Team and equipment does matter in sprint car racing. Team, especially the mines, the crew chiefs. I mean, that's something that is kind of impressive. I hate to say it, with the 7 NOS Energy, the number 7 NOS Energy Clausen Marshall car on the High Limit Racing Tour. You know, that driver there, he is like, you don't know who is his crew chief, you know? You don't know who that Clausen Marshall crew chief, we don't hear about him much, at least. Very smart, intelligent driver. Very smart, you know, driver crew chief situation. Whereas Ricky Warner and all these other, Paul Silvas and, you know, Philip Dietz, Cody Jacobs, these are big deals in the sprint car world because we know that they crew, you know, David Gravel, you know, they crew Rico, they crew Larson. The crew chiefs are a very important, intricate part. You know, Ripper with Sheldon. These are intricate people, you know. And I don't know who's the crew chief on this Landon Simon car. I don't know who's doing that for Logan CV. Now, Logan CV, obviously a very smart, intelligent individual. We'll get to see how good his knowledge plays out here. Once again, just not knowing who's going to be supporting this effort tonight. But I still feel like you can outdrive a race car, especially on a little fifth mile short track at Jacksonville Speedway. And for the damn record, I should pull the video up. Jacksonville Speedway is the last track where a sprint car showed up on a flatbed trailer and beat the World of Outlaws. Hold on, I got to find this. This is the track, by the way. Jacksonville Speedway, right there. Now, I got to find it because they did a throwback, I believe, of this. Hold on. Was it this one? No, it was not. Hold on. They did a throwback of this where this guy showed up on a flatbed trailer and beat the World of Outlaws' ass. Here it is right here, sir. That 53 right there showed up to the Jacksonville Speedway back in 2014 on a flatbed fucking trailer and walked ass on the World of Outlaws Sprint Car Series. So you don't need some big money team or anything or any special kind of crew chief. If you show up with the talent, you can do some Christopher Bell style shit, just like he did in 2014 on a flatbed trailer in Jacksonville, Illinois. So I do believe that Logan CV is on a Christopher Bell, Kyle Larson, Buddy Kofoid, Corey Day level ability of skill. He has proven that to me over the years. This could be a sleeper pick on your dirt draft. Keep an eye out, Logan CV in the Landon Simon Little Pisser car. At least that's what Sammy calls it. But yeah, that's going to be it. This is the times for those who are keeping up with the schedule. It is the Hy-Vee Perks 40, so a 40-lapper main event. Hold on, let's get this a little bit easier for everybody to see here. Let's see all the times and everything on the screen. Race day on a Wednesday. We're rolling into the land of Lincoln. The World of Outlaw NOS Energy Drink Sprint Cars make a midweek return to the Jacksonville Speedway for the Hy-Vee Perks 40. That's what it sounds like. If it was Chase Rodman still. It's not. It's Connor Wade. All times are central here. It says on the graphic. That's kind of what I was looking for. It is going to be live on Dirt Vision. Pit gates open at 3. Grandstand gates 4:30. Hot lap qualifying starts at 6:30. So you want to get on there at 6:30 for your hot laps tonight. That is Central Time, so that will be 7:30 Eastern. for everybody here on the PA side. I believe that is 4:30 on the Pacific time, 5:30 for you Mountain Time people. So that's going to be interesting to see here. I am very intrigued. We have two intriguing entries tonight. In my opinion, the Landon Simon, Logan Seavey effort here with this, and he's always had good equipment. I don't think an equipment is fault. This is not going to be a subpar race car. I worry about the crew. Who's the crew chief? Who's setting Logan up? I think that'll make the difference, but it may not. It may not make the difference. This is an intriguing entry to me. And then, of course, what everybody wants to see, 4-time World of Outlaw Late Model Series champion, former driver of the Rocket 1, Brandon Sheppard, in a 410 sprint car at his home track. Boy, oh boy, this is going to be some interesting shenanigans here tonight. Interesting shenanigans. We'll go ahead and tune over to the YouTube chat just for a quick little second. We'll see who's here. Billy Dietrich wants to know, are you still in PA? Yes, I am in PA. I am looking at potentialities to relocate to PA. If anybody knows of a room that they're renting or something like that, I actually have it in. I got to go check that out later today. We will see what happens there. Henry J says, who is the most overrated Wing 410 sprint car driver? Man, when you say that, I have a driver in mind. I do. But my problem with that is the driver in mind is a really good person. I've had great conversations with them, actually talked to them this last week at BAPS. But as far as people rating performance on the track, I think he is a little overrated. And I think he's overrated because of how good of a person he actually is. And I think that that's Jacob Allen, personally. I think that, I had a discussion with a very prominent individual in racing this morning, and he brought up how Zeb Wise wasn't going to be all that great. He thought last year was kind of a fluke year. I was like, Zeb Wise was the youngest winning USAC Midget National Champion. He actually did it at Clyde Martin Memorial. And then I said, who? Why would you say that about Zeb Wise? I said, who's better, Zeb Wise or Jacob Allen? I said, I've seen Zeb Wise drive to the front, but every time I see Jacob Allen drive to the front, it looks like he has a really good race car. I'm just saying, it looks like it's on its own line, it's hooked up, it's going forward no matter who's steering the wheel. It looks like it's just a rocket ship. They've nailed the setup, and he's driving it. But I feel like those spurts of wins with Jacob, it just seems like people are placing him highly rated as a wheel man, in my opinion. Once again, I'm not trying to be mean to Jacob. I enjoy him as a person, everything he stands for, the whole jokes with Gio. I think it's awesome right now. But as far as like just results, talent on the track, I think I think people overrate him just a little bit. You could even almost, who else could you throw in? Could you say Brock Zierfoss? But who's overrating Brock Zierfoss? He's in a hard level of competition. He's racing there. Is he getting the results? No, but nobody's sitting there touting him as some kind of next level star or talent level that takes a series over the top versus another. That's all I'm saying. Now, Jacob Allen has done a lot of development over the years. Obviously, we ain't seen a lot of racing this year. He almost did beat the Outlaws without that Gio Scelzi situation. But once again, that car was handling in places that no other car could handle. When I see that, I don't say is that the driver is at the car. When one car is going where no one else is and it's hooking up and going forward, that's the car doing a lot of that. Now, I know it's a half and half or 60, 40, 70, 30, 80, 20, however you want to split it. There has to be a car there for you and the setup, just like I talked about with Logan Seavey. But I also believe that car does some special shit sometimes, and I just ain't ever seen it before. The car itself, that's what I would say. Someone said Chris Windham is my overall or my overrated pick. But once again, for someone to be overrated, they have to be touted as being something special. You know what I'm saying? You have to, sort of be claimed as something special to be considered overrated. So who is touting Chris Windham as overrated? I don't think anyone's saying Chris Windham's the best of this or best of that. I'm just saying. I know that people are mad about Jacob Allen. Do not bash Jacob Allen. I'm not bashing Jacob Allen. I'm not bashing him at all. I'm just telling you what people seem to tout him a lot. And I mean, I see some success. I see some good things, but I just feel like sometimes it's a little too much. But maybe that's because of how good of a guy he is. I get it. That's why I say it. If I want to be honest with y'all and be honest with you, I have to say what I think and feel, right? I can't sugarcoat it or lie. Do you want me to just sit here and lie? No, that's not why people watch me. They don't watch me to lie. They watch the other guys to think of lying. Somebody said Kyle Larson this year. Well, Kyle Larson has had subpar years. I don't understand where y'all are forgetting this. Do y'all not remember 2019 Kyle Larson? He went to the Knoxville Nationals in the McDonald's-sponsored car and couldn't make the A-main. They pulled the wrap off the vehicle and ejected from the event. I'm just saying. Now you got William Wagaman saying you do not know what your hole in the ground. Okay, whatever. The fruit fell far from the tree. If you doubt CW, you love Carson Hocevar. Chris Wyndham, that's weird. I don't know why that's a related topic. Everyone in PA just collectively yelled, no, I get you. I'm glad to say I've never listened to the Gravel podcast. It just doesn't apply to me. I have nothing to give that he's seeking for himself. I don't know what's going on here with this Kimmy guy. But that, like I said, Jacob Allen, great person. I think he's not a bad driver. There's a lot of worse drivers than him. And this is why I say you can't put Chris Wyndham in the overrated category because nobody's rating him high. Nobody's rating him as a star. No one's rating him as one of the top drivers of a particular series. But I do feel like people are rating Jacob Allen as a top driver. And maybe it's developmental years. Maybe I could be wrong. I'm not sitting here saying I'm right. I'm just telling you what I think. Right versus wrong is a matter of perspective. Perspectives should change. Some of y'all get, you don't know. You were on the while you sitting there smoking crack. Listen to this stuff. This is the people that don't have the ability to think. This is the people who don't understand how to actually comprehend thought, to actually question themselves, caught up in tradition, caught up in personal ego. They can't even hear something different than what they want to say to themselves. They're so caught up in egotistical fallacies. This William Wagaman makes me think of a post I made today, and I'm going to read that before we get out of here. Thanks for any of the chats and stuff that y'all sent so far. So here on my personal page, I actually did put together a really good thing that is for the Will Wagamans of the world. And this is in response to some videos. It's a lot of Will Wagamans out there in the world. I said, this is genetic and I know it. We are programmed to view and recognize the fractures in a building. It is a survival tactic. This is about dealing with William Wagamans of the world. And this is honestly right up Jacob Allen's, road. This is about psychology. But I say this as a creator in the content world. I put out videos yesterday. This is talking about my videos yesterday. I think between all platforms, I probably racked up over 150,000 views in just a day, thousands of likes, reactions, and comments. But, and I was doing this earlier, I just did it right now with Wagaman, I just spent 10 minutes replying to the, at a minimum, 5 or so extremely derogatory combative comments. While replying, I get the feeling of, why am I doing this? This one video in particular had like 400 likes, which that one I showed y'all earlier does. 492. I think it's at 5 now. Had like 400 likes. I'm like, this one junkwad is getting more of my effort and time than the 400 people who agree and like what I have to say. That is when I see it as genetic. I think in this content thing, we are always building, similar to a brand. And when someone points out a fault in the building, we pay attention to it to ensure that the building doesn't collapse due to a weak point. When in reality, this is probably a Wagaman, it is a snowflake melting, mad that the sun is out. I think this also indicates how easily we don't recognize the good in things and only focus on the negative. But back to genetics. We are not so far removed from a time where if we didn't pay attention to what is wrong or fair warnings from others, that we could literally die due to war, storms, disease, food, shelter, etc. So typing this out because I honestly would have just kept typing to the jackasses in the comment sections or replying to Wagaman, but decided to rather explain a potential psychology as to why, not just myself, but from my experiences, a lot of people react to negative comments made about or towards them on social media outlets. Smoking crack. Obviously, cyberbullying and other shaming type things, smoking crack, have pushed people into severe anxiety issues and self-confidence problems. Heck, some have killed themselves. This is true throughout, we've seen this. I guess the overall message I would provide that is to question yourself, I would provide to that, is to question yourself as to why you have that reaction. It more than likely is a normal reaction to seeing something being pointed out that is imperfect. And I put in here in parentheses, cosmetology makes billions on this. And when I say that, I'm talking about how, perfection of beauty, perfection of looking. There's so much money made in makeup and all this hairs and all this stuff based on people pointing out something that's imperfect. And I continue and say, and your worry and concern of that is due to genetic reactions that you and your mind have little to no control over. That is why recognition is so very important, and an ability to question yourself and reflect honestly. I think that once you start recognizing your own faults, you are working closer to managing these feelings and thoughts because you will never be able to control them. Anyways, not sure if that makes much sense, but I was pretty good at writing up speeches. Maybe we should do it more. I don't know if this was a speech, but I just started writing. I was like, hey, it sounded like a speech. So anyways, since Wagaman came in here and started being, what he is, just because I said something that he doesn't like and started literally breaking law, accusing me of using narcotics, illegal drugs. Technically I could file criminal charges against him for defamation at this point for accusing me of illegal activity. This is how you technically can react. Like, there's so many people in here agreeing with me, blah, blah, blah. They're talking, just conversating. We got the Chris Wyndham guy. He's agreeing. He thinks Chris Wyndham. We're all just conversating about it. But you got these, we got these 400 likes and agrees and all that. You got these 1 or 2 or 5 derogatory, combative comments, and I'm paying attention to them. I was responding to Wagaman, ignoring the good. So I think that a lot of people could recognize how that's just kind of genetic. And sometimes these people pointing out weak spots in whatever you are doing or saying you're a smoking crack or trying to degrade you, even though traditionally people try to warn you about weak spots, it's really them being weak. It's them being the snowflake melting, mad that the sun is out. Now, when I say that, when the sun is out, I mean you are shining. You are being you. You're expressing yourself. They don't like it, so they're mad. Their power's going away. I think it goes away even more when you address them in this way as well. I think when you start recognizing why you have the reactions to them that you do. But anyway, Chaz loves PA. Let's see if we can get some reactions here. We're just about to hit the hour mark. Moved to California and live with Tyler Walker. Wow, I hope that people see that. If he's related to Troy Wagaman Jr., this could be derogatory for his racing career. I hope he's not. No relation from my understanding. Chaz loves PA. Tony Stewart paid more money to the winner in sprint cars and late models than Clint Boyer did winning a NASCAR race. This is true. Afternoon, Chaz. You do know the promotional aspects of racing in general. You are a fly-by-night bull. There he is. Chaz is moving to PA permanently. That would be awesome. Cap Henry is a wheelman. I do think so. Have you ever been to Butler Speedway in Michigan? No, I have not. I would be interested in going to that, though. It is a track that I think they have a high-limit race this year. I've never been there. So, anyway. But do we have any super chats? No super chats. That's fine. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, that is going to do it for today. We just did pass the hour mark. Be sure to like and subscribe to the channel. Leave your comments below, even if they're as, mentally deranged as this William Wagaman. But just my opinions and thoughts. I mean, we are in America, right? Like, people, I think, pretty sure freedom of speech, everybody loves to tout it until it's not what they agree with. And people, who want to, obviously I've had people want to fight me and stuff over the years. The brass tacks of that is there's been warriors fight and die for my constitutional right to voice my opinions and thoughts and everything like that. And if somebody wants to infringe on those rights, that is called, they have the Constitution for freedom of speech. They have also jails for people who try to infringe on those rights. So in a certain sense, you're fighting against your country. You're so American, blue blood, but I guess when it's not what you want to hear, you all of a sudden throw the Constitution out the window. This is why I call them snowflakes. They're really snowflakes. Sometimes they act pro-American and, I love my country, but until it's against their own ideology, that's when they melt. They hate it. It's unbelievable. But anyway, somebody just said, where is Baps? Hold on, we got a few more comments here. Ashley Todd said, love your content, Chaz. Like I said before, keep doing what you're doing, being real. Wagaman related to the Clark? I don't know. That's possible. Harry J says the live shows are awesome. Where's Baps? Baps is in Susquehanna, Pennsylvania, I believe. Something like that. Chaz lives near Baps. No, I do not. I mean, I'm somewhat close to the track right now. Where I'm at right now, which could be changing by tomorrow, where I'm at right now currently is right down the road from Lincoln, which is in Abbottstown, Pennsylvania. But anyways, ladies and gentlemen, be sure to like the videos, share the videos around. Memberships down here, links in the description to join the support. Put your name up there at the top right of the screen. And as always, just try to keep churning along. Just keep putting it out. Catch you next time, ladies and gentlemen.
We can ride anywhere we need to go. We can ride all night up to the morning, as long as we make the show. We can be the best, or we can be the worst. We can be the best.